Going to be having a look at the euro dollar today. And a warm welcome to one and all. And for those of you who have not seen me before, my name is Langers, and I am the overgrown child that is the Scruffy trader. I wonder what might give you that idea. And what I'm trying to do is kind of give you an insight into what I do for a living, and maybe show you a trick or two along the way to inspire you with your own trading. So if that sounds good, please click the little subscribe button. It genuinely helps. And if you've got a query or a comment, please drop it below, because I genuinely answer every single one of them. So what am I looking at today? Well, I'm back to the euro dollar. It's continuing its journey south. However, I'm going to counter trend that, and I'm going to take it to the long side. And I'll jump on the screens and I'll give you a little idea as to why I'm going to do that. So bear with me just a tick. Now this is the chart. I always start with an hourly chart just to get an idea of what's going on, because the hour is a good chart to see the longer term trend, but it's also slow enough that you can sort of find your trade ideas as well. Now as we can see, it's come down. It's kind of stalling in the section that I've marked out here, but there is a bit of pressure, and I want to see if it'll move down below here. But my overall aim is to try and grab 10-15 pips onto the upside going this way. Okay, now earlier on today I shouted this out on the strength video that you may have seen, but I also put it into here for the guys to see well in advance of what it is I'm looking at. There's the trade idea there. And that explains the exact reasons as to why I'm going in, because I do look at various indicators and I do have a set of rules that I stick to rigidly. And part of that is my strength sheet. Now, if you look at this video here that was done early on this morning, I show a little bit of it, and I also tell you in there that I'm looking at euro dollar to the long side. So this is well in advance, because it's 10:30 now, and that went up sort of 8 o'clock this morning. Now this, whenever you look at a strength sheet, it can look a little bit daunting. It's not as bad as it looks. It's basically an average of a couple of days movement and a change of strength. This is a filter of all the different pairs I look at, and then a heat map to tell me whether it's on a swing trade or a day trade. Now, euro dollar is a day trade, and it's one of those products that I look at every day. I always look at cable, euro dollar, DAX, FTSE, etc. But when I'm wanting my swings, this is where this comes into play, and it helps filter it down. Now, the first thing I look at for this is I'm looking at the relationship between the euro and the dollar. Now, as you can see, the dollar is significantly stronger than the euro, but this is not a direction. It's not saying which way the market is going to go. Just because the euro is weak doesn't make it say it's going down. It is at the moment. But what it also tells you is the extremes, you know, and like an oscillator, when a product gets to an extreme, it reverses. This kind of works the same way. So just because it's weak doesn't mean to say it's going down. Now, then I look at this, the change of strength, rate of change. And I can see the US is here, it's losing ground, and the euro has lost a lot of ground. Now that's over the last couple of days. And what it's telling me is it could be at an extreme and time to slow down. And if you see a car slowing down on a motorway, chances are it's going to turn off. All right. So these are things that I look at, and it's what we talk about all the time. This, what we're looking at in front of us, is the Discord group that I run. And as you see, we talk all things trading. We sort of share ideas how to do things. We have our rags and riches where whatever we've been up to, we put in, whether we good, bad or indifferent. But the guys are, over the course of being in the group, starting to get really profitable. And I'm really pleased with all of that. Then obviously they have their different disciplines, whether you're a Forex trader, an indices trader, whatever you happen to be. But also mindset. Because mindset's one of those things that we all have to go through. What it is most people seem to think the technicals is king. It's not. It's how you think about it. Can you cope with the losses? Can you hold on to the winners? And that's where all this comes in, and pick each other up. Then we have our little music chats where we just share music and one thing and another. And then of course we have our coders in here as well. Dooku is excellent and advise how to code MT and MT5 platforms. So it's a good community to be involved with if you're interested. And you'll find links for that down below. But what we're here for today is this trade. So let's have a look at it. See what I'm looking at. Now at the moment, it is in this zone. It's pushing. It's kind of stalling a bit. I do think it can push down a little bit further. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit and wait for the next candle to close. So that'll be 11 o'clock, about half an hour's time. And I'll come back to you. But basically what I'm doing is I'm looking to bounce it between these two levels. I'd like to get it further down before I enter the market. And as long as it stays between there, I will do what I always do. I'll stage it in and I'll show you it in real time. So I'll see you at about 11 o'clock.
Well, we're waiting.
Okay guys, it's 10 to 11 and it is now starting to rock. And why is that? Because it is breaching my zone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this down to a 15-minute and we're going to zone into this a little bit better. As you can see, it is nicely starting to accelerate. So I'm quite happy with that. And we're going to try and capture onto this momentum. So again, drop it down to a 5-minute just because I want to scope in a little bit. I'm going to be a little bit conservative with this, just simply because this market doesn't move that quick. So I'm going to put an order in at 5, just like so. I'm going to put another order in at 10. And then what I'll be doing is, there we go. Okay, so they're my first pre-markers. Now this one here, I'm now going to draw in a little line. Now that's measured out for me. I know that's 5 pips. Okay, I know it doesn't sound a lot, but what you got to remember is this is a day trade. If you're swinging for the fences all the time, you're probably going to fail. If you're looking for more than sort of 15, 20 pips in a day, look at the marketplace. You know, I often see sort of the Lambo boys, if you want.
You ding dong!
Seeing the flip 200 quid into a million in a very short period of time. They're doing loads and loads of trades. The market breadth can't give you that. You know, you've got to be very mindful of how far the market can move. Well, this particular market, if I just pop up an ATR, it moves 3 pips every 5 minutes. Take it out to a daily so you can see where it's at on a daily. It's running, well, there you are, say 60 pips in a day. Now, you think, well, that's great. I can get 60 pips. Well, it's not great. because the chances of catching the exact bottom and the exact top to gain your 60 pips is incredibly difficult. So if you divide it by 3 or even 4, you know, like a quarter, well, that's only 15 pips, because I'm not looking for the bottom, I'm not looking for the top, I'm looking for the bit in the middle. All right, so this is targeted correctly, but what you can do to make up the balance is find out your midpoint. Well, this is here. I'm just going to move that up to there. So we're going to push both of these into, just as it's going into the red zone, just like so. And every time one of them, I'm going to leave one to run all the way up, but as one touches that, I'll take so much off, because I kind of expect it to come back on itself. I'll put the order back in. Every time it touches that line, I'll take some off, let it go back and bounce it. But as soon as it goes over the top of that line, I'll just let it run till it returns. Okay, but up until sort of bounce, if it comes back, put it back in, bounce, put it back in, goes across, let it run to see if it cashes out. Hope that kind of makes sense. But that is kind of the play for today. I am prepared to let this run all the way back down to here. And what I'll be doing is I will be averaging in to the price as it goes negatively against me, negative averaging. That again will give me extra pips, because as I'm getting it at a better price, I'm still expecting it to come up here. It's just a way of getting extra money. So what I'll do is I'll just let it run out and I'll catch you at the end. That was that, guys. Easy trade. Did it bounce? No, it didn't. Went straight up into target, but just one of them things. Can it have them all go to plan? Well, it has gone to plan, because it went to the actual target, and as you can see, it's kind of rejecting exactly where I've marked. So it's 11:30 in the morning. What do I do now? Well, I've got a choice, because I've made a little bit of money this morning. As you can see, there they are there. So it's not a vast amount. So I'll have a chance to go back into the markets a little bit later this afternoon. But if I do, brilliant. If I don't, it's just one of them days. But the markets are going to have to sort of present themselves for me. As we can see here, there is movement around. Kind of keep my eye on cable at the minute, and I always watch the DAX. So I don't know, I'm not rightly sure. There was only really one contender for me today, which was this one. I did consider the Euro CAD earlier on, but I may have missed the boat on that one now. I did pull it up on my 5%ers account. If I just pull it across, which is this one here, I've already had some money out of that. If I pull up the history, there it is there. Little bits out of it there this morning, because I'm trying to build that up slowly. And the thing with a prop firm account like that is you draw down so small. So as long as I'm doing between $6 and $10 a day, I'm quite happy with that, because that's in tolerance of the risk parameters. Okay, so that's kind of it for me today. very easy video, just showing you what I've been up to. And that's that. But I kind of leave you with something to think about. Do you overcomplicate your trading? And what I mean by that is, you're looking for the holy grail all the time. You're trying to put this indicator with that indicator, and you're chasing your tail. And I see that with the various chat that I see on a morning. If you mention something, it's like, oh, am I doing this? Am I doing that? No. You need to analyze your own markets and simplify it. I'm very simple. I just go zone to zone all the time. And I don't try and overstretch myself. If it moves from one zone, it's going to the next one. And then I reevaluate it there. So, like I say, take away, less is more. Keep your trading simple and you'll be fine. You really will. Trading's not that difficult. And as you've just kind of seen with the euro dollar, the strengths, whether it's the one on Finviz, there's investing.com, or even the one that I made myself, it kind of almost always works in reverse, because the strengths say that the euro is weak, so in theory it should be selling off, but it isn't. What it tells people is it's good value. So there you go. So that's it. I'm going to wrap it up now. And as always, guys, do what you love and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.